retrial assignment for C programming. My name is Chris Zapata. I believe my first initial error in this exam was not managing my time correctly. I spent a lot of time on problem 1 where I had 2 printf lines that would not show. And I was very hesitant to move on to the next problem without completing that problem, which was a grave mistake because I did not have nearly enough time to finish problem 2. The second error, I believe, was not completely finishing the redo of 7.1 homework, which I initially did by just inputting every value and then scanning for every value of x, ax, ay, by, bx, cx, cy. When instead I should have just asked the user to prompt in the size and then also prompt in the elements of the array, which could have saved me a lot of time in solving question 2, part A. To fix that, not to fix that, but what I did in this retrial, I had to use, instead of just inputting the values individually or the elements individually, I had all of the elements in the array and pertaining to the array prompted by the user, such as size and then of course the elements, to allow my script to take arbitrary numbers instead of using fixed numbers as I was before. I also took this time I also took the equations and solved them by accessing only elements in the array, which made problem 2A much easier. Here's my demo for 2A. And here's the start of my code. Pretty straightforward. I have integer main. Oh, it's kind of a mess. Okay. Geez. I have 3 integers, n, j, and k, 4 integers, sorry. I also have a temp integer to hold values. And finally, I have my 2 arrays, which with point being n times 2, the size being n times 2, because we were prompt for double the values of what the size is, so to basically act as points. Then I asked the user how many points do we have, or I asked the system how many points do we have, scanf the number of points, enter the numerical values, and then scan for the array. Here, it's straightforward. I have one variable assigned for every distance, for the origins, for the distance to the origin, for every point. Here, as we see, I access only elements in the array by from 0 to 19. Here, my flow average is just the sum of all the distances divided by the number of distances, which is D1 to D10 divided by n, or 10. Here, I am printing each of the distances for every point. And then finally, printing the average distance for the points. Here, I have largest to smallest. Here, I'm just, I'm putting all of my distance values into an array. This shouldn't be here. I'm putting all my distance values to array, and then I'm printing the array to show me the distances in just one separate array. One separate matrix, apologize. Print have largest to smallest. Here, in this for loop, I have if the new array, which is P of j, which contains the distances, is less than the average distance, then the line should print if it's greater than the average distance, the line should print the distance, and then which is larger than the average of 6.99, which is the average of our points. And then I have an else condition to fulfill anything that is less than 6.99. And if that is satisfied, you will print out the number, which is less than the average of 6.99. So my results for exam 2B, for question 2B. Straightforward here. I have three integers as three float values as SD, variance, and average, which is standard deviation, variance, and average. I have an array, which I have an integer array, integer nij, and two sum values, and a temp value to hold that's used as a placeholder. And then I prompt the user to input the number of points. In this for loop, we see you enter the values for the respected element, and then we scan the array for sum equals sum plus array I. In this for loop, this is where we start our loop for ascending order. In the nasty for loop, we then have if array I is less than array j, which compares the array elements together, and then the temp value holds array I, and then array I is equal to array j, which replaces the value, and then finally array j equals temp is going to store that last value in array j, for array j, sorry. After that, I have my another loop that's going to print just array j. And then finally, we see our first use of one of the float types. Average equals sum divided by the number of elements. Then we print to show the average. In this for loop, we have variance equals, now we're switching over to j. So in this for loop, for the new array, we have variance equals sum minus the number divided by, sum minus size divided by size, which gives you variance, and then the square root of the variance, which gives you standard deviation. We then print variance, we print standard deviation, and then we print the values from largest to smallest. In this for loop, I have if array j is less than the average, then the value is larger than the average distance of 5, and if for anything else that's less than 5, we will print the number which is less than the average distance of 5. Accessing array j.